Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all, Dinosaurs versus Dragons.
Disney Edition.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it.
You know what?
You're right. We got this.
Hal, when you first pitched this idea to me, I was reluctant, I have to say. It felt like we were doing an album of cover songs.
Yeah.
But the more I looked at this, the more excited I got to cover this.
This was brought up in the Facebook group. I'm sorry I don't remember who, but I'm not a computer, damn it. And this is what's happened. D23, the official Disney fan club organization, they put up the huge convention. This is Disney, where their Hall of Fame is located within the folds of D23. They have put out, in honor of March, which is college basketball season, where they have their big bracket for March Madness, their own collection of, I think this is the first of many brackets they're putting out, but this is Dinosaurs versus Dragons.
Are we going to do all of them and just let them do our homework for us?
I don't think it'd be a bad idea to let them. Well, here's the problem. Number one, the winner of this will not be probably the best of either. They may have the best dragon, but they probably don't in all of pop culture. And the best dinosaur is not listed here of all dinosaurs.
The best dinosaur of all dinosaurs
is Dino from the Flintstones. He's a dinosaur. He's also a dog. I know there's a dragon on here that's basically
There's a dragon here. Yeah, Blazy is essentially Dino.
Yeah, Blazy is essentially, but Dino did it first.
Can you do the Dino voice?
Is that close?
I knew you had it in you.
Thank you. Sometimes I go to do something. Like one time I was doing an impression of the lead singer of AC/DC, and I'd never done it before. This is in the last 6 months. I was like, I wonder if I can do this. I'm just going to try to make that noise with no attention to how we're going to do it. And then I was like, are you ready for a good time? Like, it got close enough.
Your mouth just... Your brain didn't have to do any of the prep work for it. Your mouth just went, I got this.
I had to take the brain out of it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Take the brain out and
just go. Leap before you look, baby. Leap before you look.
Yeah. The those about to rock. We salute you. All right.
Let's start talking about dinosaurs and dragons. No. You were going to say something.
Oh, I had a thought today. It's a complete non sequitur.
Great. These are my favorites.
You know that song, You Must Have Been a Beautiful Baby?
Vaguely. Wasn't it like a song that was on wax cylinders? Like it was
well, you must have been a beautiful baby, because baby, take a look at you now. That is the creepiest song that's ever been written. Imagine you go on a date with someone and the whole time they're like, you're really good looking. Man, I bet you were a sexy baby. I bet you peaked like...
You were a 10. You were a baby 10.
You must have been so hot in kindergarten, just driving people wild. You're like, are you allowed near schools? Is this why we had to have dinner in the industrial area of town?
Oh,
I was just thinking about it. I was taking a shower and
That's fair.
Had that song stuck in my head.
That's my question is, how did that song get stuck in your head? Were you listening to your Victrola?
I was listening to my Victrola. I had just cranked the handle. I didn't know what cylinder was on there because I'm terrible at organizing them.
Oh, sure.
And on comes that song by my favorite barbershop quartet, the Four Gentlemen of Verona, and then in parentheses, New Jersey. And they're singing the song, and it just struck me how creepy it is. There's no way the person who wrote that did not spend time in jail, either before or after writing that song.
Well, they were definitely at least questioned, I hope.
They are daring us to catch them with that song.
All right,
Anyway.
Let's talk about dinosaurs.
Yes.
And dragons. Disney has put together a Dinosaurs versus Dragons bracket as part of D23. They have given us 16 to choose from.
Yes.
And to determine the ultimate winner. It does really feel like a lot of the work has been done for us as these brackets are already put together and they're seeded already.
Well, here's the thing. This is one of those D23, everybody come vote, and collectively a group of people. The same group of people, no doubt, that came up with the name Bodie McBoatface.
Right.
Which is
well, that was a Colbert thing.
Yes.
Right.
But it just shows that a group of people can be destructive, maybe not always come up with the right answer.
Yeah.
So we're going to take the angry mob out of it.
Ooh.
And we're going to correctly point out how this should shake out. And people will get to see for the first time ever whether a group of people are able to correctly come to the answer that we arrive at, which of course is the only proper answer. Every single matchup that we choose will be correct all the way through to the finals and the ultimate victor. So we'll have
that's how the show works.
That's how it works. If you're new, welcome. And I'm sorry, but not really.
No, we're not. Don't you apologize for our premise, Hal.
I said not really.
That's fair.
I took it back immediately.
All right, good. I like this, that the victor of this gets a cup with a big 3-footed footprint on it. Like that footprint on the cup is, you know what this looks like? It's a little bit dinosaur and it's a little bit dragon.
Rock and roll. Oh yeah. That's right. A little bit dragon. That's right.
It's a little bit dragon. I'm a little bit dinosaur.
Yes, dinosaurs and dragons, the Mormon siblings of creatures. Where do you want to start?
I want to start where the great Hal Lublin started, in the Northeast.
Okay. So we're in the dragons.
We're going to start in the dragons. The way this works is the East is all the dragons. The West is all of the dinosaurs. And we have a North bracket, a South bracket on either side. So let's start in the Northeast bracket. How does that sound?
Sounds great. Do you want to tee up our first matchup and we'll make the decision. We'll complete this quarter of the bracket, then complete the Southern. So we'll do one whole side and then one whole side. Is that what we're going to do?
Yeah, that sounds good to me. Do you like that?
I mean, said it. I must love it.
Sure. All right. Let's start with the Reluctant Dragon and Figment. That is our first matchup. The Reluctant Dragon from, of course, the Reluctant Dragon motion picture that was really only created to show off Walt Disney Studios, and Figment, who was really only created to show off Epcot. You probably, having not been to Epcot, do not have a relationship with Figment. Is that correct?
I've only been to Epcot.
Oh, you've only been, when did you go to Epcot?
I went twice. I went once in 1986 or 85, and then again in 1997 or 98.
All right. Forgive me for not remembering that, because in my brain, you've always said, I've never been to Disney World. I've never been to Disney World.
Correct.
But Magic Kingdom part of Disney World. Okay.
Yes. Right. I've only been to Epcot is what I think I've said that. I don't think
that's the best
big
part.
Reveal.
Yeah. No, it's not a big reveal. I just don't have a very good memory for things.
Fair enough.
So you're familiar with Figment.
I am familiar with Figment, and I had a stuffed Figment. No, they brought me, this is what my parents brought me, because they went to Disney World in 1984 before me for a real estate conference.
Scope it out.
I think I was too, they didn't want to take me on a plane when I was 6 or 7 or whatever. I was 7 by then. So they brought me back, not a stuffed Figment. I don't think I had a stuffed Figment. What I did have was a plastic oval with a suction cup on it that looked like stained glass. And it was stained glass of who? You guessed it.
Figment.
Yes.
Yeah. Every little kid wants stained glass Figment.
Of course.
The thing about Figment is, in that park at that time, he was the character for Epcot. Yes. Like it wasn't full of all of the other Disney characters. So they created this character and he was everywhere. I think as a kid, I had a stuffed Figment. I had a little plastic Figment, figurine. I had the Clippy Figment where his 2 little front arms would clasp together around things. I had the hat, the keychain. Like I had all of the Figment gear because that was all of the souvenirs in Epcot had Figment on them. That said, I love Figment. I love what Figment was previously in the older version of. So you've ridden both versions of Journey into Imagination. Do you have a memory of these?
Yes. I think when I would have gone originally, it would have been Billy Barty.
Yeah.
Who was the original voice. And then actually Journey into Your Imagination is now Corey Burton did it. And also Dave Goelz. So that's really? Like a triumvirate of fine actors.
Yeah.
And creative people who have stepped into the role of Figment.
The character of Figment, as originally crafted, he represents, I'm trying to remember what the 2 tiny wings, eyes big and yellow, horns of a steer, but a lovable fellow. From head to tail, he's royal purple pigment. And then, Eureka! You've got a Figment. It's a figment of imagination. So Figment is the embodiment of all things imaginative.
That's right.
It's going to be hard to beat Figment in this round for me. But let's talk about the Reluctant Dragon.
Please.
Tell me about your relationship with the Reluctant Dragon.
I don't really have one. Not as strong as Figment.
Yeah.
I mean, I get the Reluctant Dragon. It's kind of cool. I think he's kind of a cool part of Disney history more than he is a symbol of anything. He's not a symbol of anything larger than the film that he was in. And again, Disney essentially making an industrial film.
Yeah.
To show off what they could do and how they produce things using the Reluctant Dragon. He's adorable.
Yeah, he's very adorable. And it's a great short film that they made for this. But it does feel kind of like a workbook assignment, doesn't it?
100%.
That's what the Reluctant Dragon kind of seems like. Yeah. Whereas Figment has the weight of an entire theme park on his tiny shoulders. He has a song about him. He has a dream finder that carries him around.
He's had comic books.
I love the comic books.
Yeah.
A sort of steampunk dream finder and Figment comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one feels easy.
Figment's going to be a tough one to beat, but he does move on.
Yeah.
Sum it up. I'm actually I'm telestrating on mine as we go.
You?
I've
You're like John Madden. Well, the Reluctant Dragon, see, got taken down here right at the beginning, so he's not going to make it all the way to center field on this one.
I used to do these industrial commercials for Symantec. You can find almost all of them.
Hal the IT guy.
Hal the IT guy. And for years, we filmed them at John Madden's Goal Line Studios in Mountain View, California.
I didn't know John Madden had studios.
Is it
where they do mocap for the games?
I don't know if they do mocap there, but they had a couple full studios. They had sound recording booths where he could do stuff if he needed to. And he was there one time. The only time I saw him in a few years of filming there was him coming down to raid craft services to come down. Go, because you got a turkey sandwich. Boom. Boom. Yeah, he just ate a bunch of food and left. Did not say anything to anybody. Just came down like he might as well have been in my memory. He's in his bathrobe. I know he wasn't actually.
Sure. But he was like doesn't like you look at his head and John Madden's head kind of looks like it's always in its bathrobe.
Yes.
Right.
Another quick John Madden story.
Please.
I hate to blow all of them in one episode. Jennifer and I were driving east across the country. So we're taking the 10, but we were taking the southern route. So our first stop or second stop was right inside the Texas border, a small town where
this is on the El Paso side or on the Mississippi River side?
El Paso side. This is Western Texas.
Okay.
And it's a very small town, but we saw there was a hotel there. We were exhausted. So we checked in there. The only restaurant open was a Mexican place nearby. So we went there. And they had been visited by John Madden several times to the point where they had a table set aside for him with a plaque on the chair.
Amazing.
Like this and pictures of them with him. And I'm sure he was there several times, but I like to think he was only there once.
And they just decided that that is somebody there was just such a huge John Madden fan.
Yeah.
It's like the Shroud of Turin of restaurants if John Madden was Jesus.
Yeah. They're like, someday he's going to come back. I know he is. The doors of that bus is going to open.
The second coming of John Madden, y'all.
Have you heard the good word? I got a pamphlet here. So yes, he's revered in that small Texas town and probably in Oakland.
Repent ye, for the 6-legged turkey is upon us. That was always my favorite John Madden thing was the turkey leg. But when he would give out the turkey leg to amazing plays on Thanksgiving. But when there started to be too many great plays on Thanksgiving, they just started adding more legs. So he would have a turkey that looked like an insect with 6 legs sticking off of it.
We want to thank Love Canal Turkeys for providing us with this meal. All right. Next up, we have from the original 1977 Pete's Dragon, Elliot, versus the dragon form of Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty.
Now, you mentioned something before, Hal,
yes,
in a text thread that you and I have. Tell me your beef with Queen Nerissa, Madam Mim, and Maleficent on this list.
I think they're all fine characters. They are not dragons. They are people who turn into dragons. And that is unfair to the dragon community.
Yeah.
We have a bunch of actual dragons. And then these people who are like, I'm going to be a dragon when it's convenient.
Yeah. I'm going to dress like a dragon. I'm going to play dragon cosplay.
Yeah. When in Pete's Dragon does Elliot turn into a person?
Yeah.
No. So that he can more easily, I mean, this would be de-escalating. You know, they turn into dragons to escalate things. He would be turning into a human to de-escalate a situation and get away.
Well, Elliot might not be the best because if Elliot wants to get away, he could just disappear.
That's true. They still threw a net over him. Even while he was invisible. True. Terminus was still able to get a hold of him.
I love, like, there aren't enough details already about a dragon to add, you know what? Also, this one is invisible. We'll give him that too. Like, it's layering on superpowers.
Yeah. I'm kind of salty that Elliot is in the same bracket as Figment.
I know.
I would want that matchup to happen later.
Well, it's going to happen soon because Maleficent, you are an imposter dragon.
Yeah.
And Elliot is moving on.
You're not a dragon. You're a dragon when it's convenient for you to be a dragon, and that is no dragon at all. So to you, I say, and we move on.
Oh, wait, but we can't move on from talking about Pete's Dragon.
Not yet.
Without hearing from our dear friend, Jim Dale, who played the villain in the movie starring Elliot, Pete's Dragon. Tell us, Jim Dale, why Elliot should defeat Maleficent in this particular matchup.
Ooh, Elliot, ooh, he's a real dragon. Maleficent's a person. Ooh, Harry, I only pretend to be a dragon when it's convenient. Ooh.
Well, you've heard it, folks, from Jim Dale.
By the pound. Are you ready for a dragon?
Oh no, everyone's here. By the way, I love just playing Wind Up Hal Day today. I feel like I'm just coasting on you being able to do a million voices and just asking for them as a whole episode is what's happening today.
I'm in good voice today. I'm in good voice. It's,
You are my friend. So Elliot comes out of this round. Let's move on now. Well, this is going to be tough because both of these are humans who take on a dragon form.
Yes.
And they are Queen Nerissa.
From Enchanted. Played by Susan Sarandon.
Yeah. And Madam Mim from The Sword and the Stone, played by not Susan Sarandon, Tim Curry as Frankenfurter. I knew.
That's right. Oh, yeah. It was Tim Curry as Frankenfurter. Yes, that's right.
We took similar paths.
Yes.
Similar but divergent paths. I don't know. What do you think of this? Feels like the battle is, I'm sorry, I asked what you thought of it and then I just started launching into what I thought of it.
I was going to say what I think you thought of it anyway.
What's that?
Which is I know how much you love Madam Mim.
Mm-hmm.
So I also feel like Enchanted, while it is a fine movie, it's a lovely film.
Mm-hmm.
Worth watching if you've not seen it. I feel like a lot of our listeners are really hip to Disney, so they've seen.
Yeah. We've done like 50 Disney episodes.
And a lot smarter than most people.
Our listeners are the smartest people in the world.
This is true. For that reason, I think Madam Mim should move on.
Yeah.
Of these two, I think she's a little bit more memorable, or at least from a more memorable property.
Yeah. Well, she's a more memorable character, but is she like, it seems like Queen Nerissa has a dragon in her back pocket. And just immediately goes to the triple dog dare, immediately goes to the trump card. Yeah. Madam Mim's going to throw a bunch of other different options in there before she goes full dragon.
So you think that's in Nerissa's favor?
I think it's dragonier that Nerissa only goes dragon.
Okay, I accept that premise. Madam
Mim hip pocketing dragon for the last, possible choice.
True.
It means, though I think Madam Mim, I had to look up who Queen Nerissa was. I didn't have to look up who Madam Mim was.
Exactly. That's the point. Exactly. I think because that's part of it. We're going to get down to, we're starting with who is better known, but also who is a better dragon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're both defeated.
Yeah.
Who's better at being a dragon? Maybe Queen Nerissa's better at being a dragon. Because it feels like more of a threat for longer. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I'd say that's fair to say.
So then, all right. Then I'm sorry, Madam Mim.
Wow. Quite the upset to start this first round. All right. Let's move on now to Blazy from Onward and Mushu from Mulan. Blazy is very cute.
So cute.
Blazy is very cute. Blazy is a dog with dragony attributes.
Yeah.
He's a big, floppy, goofy, non-speaking dog that had the much like many of the things in Onward. It is a thing that we absolutely recognize with a fantasy overlay on top of it.
Yes.
So Blazy is a dog with a dragon fantasy overlay on top of it. Mushu is Eddie Murphy with a dragon overlay on top of him.
I mean, of the two,
Mushu's a fun character. Mushu has an arc in the movie.
yes.
He's a real fun, fleshed out, has thoughts character.
Yeah, he's more fully realized. I think for that reason, I think that makes him the winner, doesn't it?
I think so. But look, Blazy's very cute and like using a little lick of fire as like a tongue is really fun and cute. But Mushu is in like the canon of Disney characters, I think.
Correct. Yes.
So Mushu comes through. So we're going to do the whole side and get down to one in the east. We're going to get down to one dragon and then we're going to go over and get down to one dinosaur.
I think so. I think we take a break after we finish with the dragons and then we move on to the dinosaurs. Do you want to stay in the south now and have Queen Narissa versus Mushu?
Let's stay in the south. Have Queen Narissa versus Mushu. Guess what, Queen Narissa? We're jumping back to our old argument. You are not a permanent dragon. You know who is a permanent dragon? Mushu. And in this movie, he is kind of repping all dragons of a very dragon-centric motif in an entire culture. You are a queen who sometimes acts like a dragon when she wants to be mad.
That's right. Acts like a dragon.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah. Shame on you, Queen Narissa. You know what? You come over here right now.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's probably not a great idea. You still are a giant, terrifying dragon.
Yeah. You can still turn into a dragon. It seems a lot more real when they're right there in front of you. We apologize, but you did not win.
Yeah.
All right.
We're terribly sorry, Your Royal Highness.
The two most iconic dragons, I might argue, on this list.
Yeah.
Elliot versus Figment.
It's so difficult.
Now, Pete's Dragon was not a gigantic hit.
Right.
As I remember it. It's not, I mean, it is a B tier animated film.
But it is for us because of our age and when we were kids.
Yes.
One of the ones we remember from our childhoods.
Absolutely. It was contemporary to both of us.
And it has some great songs.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Helen Reddy.
B tier is not, this is the Sherman Brothers were gone at this point. Bedknobs and Broomsticks was I think their last Disney film. Or the last major one.
I'm not sure.
They did not write the music for this film. I know that for sure. This is during their hiatus. It is a fine movie. To call it B tier means it's simply not, he's not going to be up there with characters from Beauty and the Beast or The Little Mermaid or Cinderella.
Or Mulan.
Or Mulan. The question is right now, can he beat the spokes dragon
for the concept of imagination?
For the concept of imagination itself.
Yeah.
And an entire section of a theme park that's very popular.
Though Elliot kind of is that too.
Sure. Well, everybody thinks he's fake.
Yeah.
Until they encounter him.
So, that's interesting. So what we have is a dragon that everyone thinks is a figment of imagination, but is actually a real dragon versus a dragon that really is a figment of imagination.
True. And he's also the least conventional in terms of looking like a dragon.
Which one? Elliot or Figment?
Elliot. He has the head of a camel.
Yeah.
The neck of a crocodile.
They both have songs about what they look like.
Yeah. He's both a fish and a mammal.
Well, okay. Do you know that? Will you give me this song? I gave you the other song.
I think the way it goes is, I got the word.
The head
of a camel, the neck of a crocodile. It sounds very strange. He's both a fish and a mammal, and I hope that he'll never change.
There you go.
It's not easy. Anyway.
And Figment.
Yes.
I already said before, 2 tiny wings, eyes big and yellow, horns of a steer, but a lovable fellow. From head to tail, he's royal purple pigment, and then Eureka, you've got a Figment. So they each have their own song that describes what they look like. They both have tiny wings, though I will argue that on Elliot, tiny wings are more hilarious because Elliot is humongous.
He's real big.
He has the ability to disappear. This is tough for me because I am so partial to Figment. I love Elliot. It could be that Elliot is the victor in this. I think Figment is just one of my all-time favorites. And our show is objective.
I think they're both great.
Mm-hmm.
I feel a very strong attachment to Elliot. However, because we do not make decisions here based on emotions.
Yeah.
Never have. Go try to point out a time that either of us did that, and we'll both say that you're wrong.
Pretzel run.
Including Ken in the comments right now. If you could see the filth coming out of Ken Plume's keyboard, you would fall back on your fainting couch. Absolute filth, flarn, filth. Figment has a larger pop culture impact and is still more recent and hasn't been redone in a live action movie that I've heard was good, but that's not my Elliot. My Elliot goes.
Yeah.
Ken is so mad right now, by the way. We're getting all these messages because he loves Elliot and wants Elliot to go forward.
He just quit. Ken just quit, you guys.
Yeah. Here's a clip. You know, I think they're both good. Figment to me feels like the truth is, I think this is a formality. I don't know if either one can beat Mushu. I don't know if either one can beat Mushu. In fact, I have a different approach for how we're going to do this, by the way.
Okay.
Let's get to Final Four and then let's take a break.
Okay, great.
All right. So Figment or Elliot? I know that Elliot does have a story. We're not discounting Elliot as a two-dimensional dragon, even though he literally is a two-dimensional dragon.
Yeah, and Figment is literally a three-dimensional dragon because you first see him. My introduction to him was in 3 dimensions as a character in the Epcot. Right, Ken, we're trying to do an episode.
Ken, please stop. Please stop trying to co-host via the chat. It's like R2-D2. We're the only ones who can tell you what Ken is saying right now. He's our own R2 unit. Let's talk about what each of them represents. We know what Figment represents. Elliot represents undying loyalty and love. And protection. He is Pete's caretaker and protects him from the Grogans, has kept him safe. Where's the rest of the family?
The rest of what family? The rest of Elliot's family?
Yeah.
Well, they're all gone, Hal.
The rest
they're
of Pete's
all gone.
Family. What about Pete's family? You've seen The Sixth Sense, right?
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. Remember the little girl?
Yeah.
His mother keeps putting Lysol in her soup.
Yeah.
So that she can take care of it. It's called, for those of you out there who are unfamiliar, it's called Munchausen by proxy. Now, I'm not saying Elliot did eat the rest of Pete's family and then swooped in to be a caretaker. I'm saying I don't know if that's what happened.
Look, the question's just been raised. We're not here to answer that question.
Yeah. You're going to have to wait for the Netflix limited series about that to come out.
You know who never ate a whole family?
Figment?
Who definitely never ate a whole family is Figment.
But he definitely probably ate a baby once.
Maybe. No, he's a figment of imagination. He went on an imaginative fantasy where he ate a baby.
Oh, it's not real.
Yeah.
Oh,
but,
so
it was that super sexy baby from that song.
Oh, it's so creepy. Oh, you look lovely tonight. I'll bet you looked real hot as a kid.
All right. We got to get that topic. So
gross. Unacceptable.
Ken, cut all of that.
No, keep it in. We need people to know that this song is not okay. Please stop playing it and stop singing it. All you barbershop quartets, think about something different. How about saying, I hope you had a good childhood. You're a lovely adult. Let's focus on that.
Yeah. That's great. That's sound advice.
And it rhymes. Okay.
Well, all right. It's Figment.
Figment wins.
Figment wins. Sorry,
Wow.
Elliot. That was a tough battle. You shouldn't have eaten that family. Yeah. And in the South, look, we have Queen Narissa versus Mushu. We got Mushu.
We're going to wait. We're going to wait on that.
So what we have now is we already
moved Mushu on to the Final Four.
We moved Mushu on. I didn't even hear us officially do that.
Oh yeah, it's official.
Yeah.
It's official.
All right, so it's Mushu and Figment on the dragon side.
Yes.
Let's move to the dinosaur side. Are you sure we don't need to take a break?
No, we're never breaking again.
All right, great.
Now, we both live in the Southwest, so let's start there.
Let's start in the Southwest. And our first fight is the primeval world dinosaurs. I'm going to say from the train at Disneyland.
Well, originally the 1964 World's Fair.
1964 World's Fair brought into the part where the train doesn't want you to see backstage, so they send you through some dioramas.
Yes.
And one of them is these primeval world dinosaurs, which are in 3 dimensions and lovely, versus Aladar from the Disney film Dinosaurs.
No, Dinosaur.
Dinosaur. I always get that confused. Dinosaurs is the TV show.
Yes.
The Not the Mama show.
They will be represented later. Don't worry.
I'm not worried. From the motion picture Dinosaur, who is the main character in the movie. So
guess what? I didn't remember existing.
What?
until I looked at this bracket.
What?
The 2000 Disney movie Dinosaur.
I remember the movie only because I remember how realistic everything looked. That to me was like the most up-to-date way to look at 3D CG graphics. And I think what they did was they actually shot live the backgrounds.
They had real dinosaurs come in.
And then they drew over the top of them like that 70s version of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. So Aladar was a real dinosaur that they had hired. I don't know who the actor was. He was good though.
D.B. Sweeney.
So I didn't know D.B. Sweeney was a dinosaur. So they hired dinosaur D.B. Sweeney.
Yeah.
And then
he turns into one.
Well, you know what? He's not a dinosaur then.
Exactly.
Yeah. You know what? The primeval world dinosaurs from
of course they
Disneyland win.
I don't care if you only see them when you go to Disneyland. At least people see them. Ooh.
Really funny.
Threw shade on the 2000 film Dinosaur.
Oh, throwing shade at Aladar. Aladar is a great character though.
Aladar.
Well, all right.
He's a great character who did not win.
No, he did not.
I mean, are you going to pick him?
No.
Because he won't listen to this, so you don't have to worry about hurting his feelings.
Are you sure? Are you 100% sure?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going with the primeval world dinosaurs from the 1964 World's Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Arguably more influential than that Aladar was.
Yeah, groundbreaking. Animatronics.
All right. Now we're going with Arlo, the human-toothed little dinosaur baby from what movie is this?
From The Good Dinosaur.
From The Good Dinosaur. And
baby. He takes a human baby with a little cave baby.
I clearly do not know this movie.
Yeah. That's okay. He's not. Hey, guess what? Guess who's also not going to win?
Arlo. You know why? Because he's in a bracket against Baby Sinclair from the television show Dinosaurs.
You know, even if you had never seen that show, which was fun, used Henson Puppets, our good friend Kirk Thatcher, one of the people behind it,
created Baby Sinclair,
yes.
I believe.
So Baby
this one
Sinclair,
is
Baby Sinclair, because he would do the "I'm the baby, gotta love me," and the "not the mama."
Yeah,
which is what he would say to his father.
Yeah, and he would smack his father with whatever was closest to him and say "not the mama."
Yeah, but breakout character from that show was Baby Sinclair.
Really fun, annoying fun.
He's annoying fun. Is the
deliberately annoying fun.
Is the annoying fun of Baby Sinclair enough to give him the edge over the primeval world dinosaurs from Disneyland / the 1964 World's Fair?
Here's the thing.
Yes.
I know that the next bracket is all T-Rexes.
Yes.
So the idea of T-Rex versus animatronic Brontosaurus is not as good in my mind as the battle of T-Rex versus Henson baby dinosaur.
I think we agree on that.
Yeah.
Baby Sinclair advances.
Baby Sinclair advances to battle one of these 4 T-Rexes.
Yes.
In the first bracket, we have the Carnotaurus from both the Disney movie Dinosaur and the ride in Disney World Dinosaur ! Knee, countdown to extinction. I'm not sure how you say the actual name of that ride. But a big, scary T-Rex with horns is what a Carnotaurus is.
An actual, not a T-Rex, actually its own dinosaur.
No, it looks like a T-Rex with horns.
It has that.
Yeah, it is its own dinosaur.
It is a giant predator.
All right, so it's not a bracket of all T-Rexes. It is a bracket of mostly T-Rexes. And then somehow the one they found that is scarier than a T-Rex.
Yes, predators.
Yeah. But is the Carnotaurus battling against Rex from Toy Story going to beat an icon? Yeah, is that Carnotaurus going to beat an iconic performance from Wallace Shawn in 3 movies and countless cartoons and a beloved Disney character?
4 movies. Yes.
4 movies. That's right. They made a 4th one.
And specials and everything. Such a great character and such a great choice to have what should be a fearsome historic predator turn him into a nebbishy, neurotic Wallace Shawn is so good. He's such a great fun character. And the character's been with us. Can you believe that character's been with us for 26 years almost?
No kidding.
Yeah. It's crazy to think. 1995. The original Toy Story. So we have Rex moving on. Also in the Northwest, we have Tiny, the Tyrannosaurus Rex from Meet the Robinsons, their pet, versus the Rite of Spring dinosaurs from 1940s Fantasia.
I'll say this in favor of the Rite of Spring dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
They are, out of all of these, the ones that seemed like they were created to seem realistic. You know what I mean? The rest of these feel like characters. Maybe the Primeval World dinosaurs are the same thing. They feel like the theme park version of this, which is, it's Fantasia. It's beautiful. It is a work of art. And these are, hey, here's an introduction to what dinosaurs were. And it feels educational almost.
Yes. But then you have the fun of a dinosaur who says, and I quote, "I have a big head and little arms. I'm just not sure how well this plan was thought through." Who becomes the house pet of family. And Meet the Robinsons, certainly not, it was not our generation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit later. That movie is only 14 years old. It has more personality. These are all nondescript dinosaurs. Now I know we've already chosen a group of nondescript dinosaurs. Do we really want to choose 2? And I'm asking, I'm not inferring.
No, honestly, I don't think it matters. This is going to be, one of these 2 is going to lose to Rex.
I think it should be Tiny. I think Tiny's adorable.
I think Tiny's adorable. Let's go. Tiny is adorable. And then Rex is
Rex.
Rex is Rex. Rex is a classic Disney character, and Rex has to go on to the final 4. Yes.
Rex in effect. Of course. All right. Now we're going to take a break.
So our final 4 are Rex, Baby Sinclair,
correct,
Mushu, and Figment.
That's right.
All right.
Let's take a break. And when we come back, the final 4 will be whittled down to your champion in the first ever Dinosaurs versus Dragons D23 March Hare Mania. We got this Pro-Am.
We'll be right back.
Hey folks, it's me, James Arthur M., host of Minority Corner, your home through these bewild times for weekly doses of pop culture, history, news, nerdy stuff, and more through a BIPOC, queer, and allied lens. See here, mister,
Hollywood.
I'm a black woman, and you need to put me in your pictures. I am Eartha Kitt. Meow.
Where am I right now?
Why it's February and March that you get to celebrate me and all of the other beautiful black women in your life and or your history.
And still to this day, we do not have a federal anti-lynching law.
This is so bad, James.
They were like,
I didn't even know any of this existed.
Yeah. This is why we have these conversations here. So join me and some of your new BFFs every Friday here on Maximum Fun to stay informed, empowered, and have some fun. Minority Corner, because together, we're the majority.
Hi, I'm Allie Gertz.
And I'm Julia Prescott, and we host
Round Springfield. Round Springfield is a Simpsons-adjacent podcast where we talk to your favorite Simpsons writers, voice actors, and everyone who's worked on the show to talk about shows that aren't The Simpsons. So we're going to be talking to people like David X. Cohen, Yeardley Smith, Tim Long about other projects they've worked on, sometimes projects that didn't go well. Some failures.
Yeah.
Some rejections.
Some failed pilots. Some failed life events.
Yeah, we just talked to all the failures of The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So if you really love your Simpsons trivia and want to get to know the people who have worked on The Simpsons a little bit better, come by Round Springfield.
Every other week on MaximumFun.org or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right.
Okay, let's do this. Final four. Are we allowed to say Final Four? I know we're not allowed to say March Madness.
Yes, we are allowed.
Great.
This is the Final Four of this March Madness.
Yeah. The last four of this March Crazy. Where do you want to start? Do you want to start with dinosaurs or do you want to start with, you said you had a plan. You were like, no, let's get down to the Final Four. Then I have an idea.
Then, no, that was the idea.
Oh,
that we take a break and get to the Final Four. Oh, you thought I had a full plan. I thought
you had a full plan.
I made it sound like I did.
So our battle now is Rex versus Baby Sinclair. Let's start with dinosaurs. What do you think?
I don't think you can beat Rex.
You can't beat Rex. He is an icon.
Yes. He's just an amazing character. Hats off to Baby Sinclair, who was a pop culture. He was a character of the moment.
Mm-hmm.
He had his time in the sun and it was glorious. And people loved him.
I remember the t-shirts that everybody had that said "Not the Mama" and "Gotta Love Me."
Yeah. The fact that persists and people remember it, or at least the references persist, is very impressive for a show that was not on the air for terribly long. And didn't it end with the asteroid hitting Earth and killing all of them? Am I remembering that right? Ken, will you R2-D2 and let me know if I'm right about that? Thank you. Thank you very much.
I don't know. Did it end with the asteroid?
Yes. And there was an endless winter. Essentially, you got the sense that all those dinosaurs were going to die.
Oh, well, look, it did a great job. Yeah. It was a great show of its moment, but what I had hoped to see happen has in fact happened, and a T-Rex has eaten a baby dinosaur. Rex is most definitely going on to the final game. He is, of all of the dinosaurs, it is now official, Rex is number one.
That's right.
Shall we move on to the dragon side?
Yes, we have the two tiniest dragons.
I know, isn't that sweet?
Have advanced. Lil Mushu and Lil Figment have both made it to the Final Four. Copyright the show.
Look, I think this is where we might have to part ways with Figment.
Yeah.
Because Mushu is, you mentioned the A-list Disney movies and the B-list Disney movies.
Yes.
Mulan is an A-list Disney movie.
Correct.
Even though Mushu didn't make it into the new live-action reboot, I don't think. I haven't seen the live-action.
No, he did not. They changed it. Because there's also there's a cultural appropriation issue there.
Sure.
Because,
Yeah.
Also, you have Eddie Murphy playing the character, which is another issue. This is not without its problems.
Mushu?
However, the character is very memorable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much like, hey, Disney, like nowadays someone would whisper in an ear and be like, you probably shouldn't make that.
Yes.
Right?
24 years ago, there was certainly less sensitivity and less regard given to how cultures other than our own were handled.
Yes.
Where there's more awareness of that now, it would be weird not to at least talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Does it disqualify Mushu as a character?
No.
I don't think it does.
I don't think it does either. I think Mushu, I guess in my brain, it's such it's so non-representative of its culture.
Yes.
It just feels like a wacky Disney character to me. You know what I mean?
Yes. And after, you have Robin Williams as the genie, and then this becomes, who's another
who's a huge comedian.
Incredible, with the ability to improvise.
Yeah.
And you have Eddie Murphy as Mushu. To get him for a Disney movie is a huge deal, obviously. Mm-hmm. And it's a really fun character, and he's adorable.
Do you think that just now realizing once we've put him in the Final Four, or just now pointing out the cultural problems that Mushu has, do you think that gets Figment into a final duel against Rex?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's
problems
more
aside, Mushu is an iconic Disney character.
Correct. I think that is the thing here. It's weird to say and he's completely perfect. I'm just pointing out that there are issues there.
Yeah, he's not the mushrooms from Fantasia.
Correct. Nor is he the Siamese cats from
Right.
Tramp.
Yes. And I apologize to anyone that is vehemently angry at us and disagreeing right now in this moment.
Is there a crash pad in your apartment behind you?
Yeah.
Is that for working out when you do yoga?
Yeah. It's just a mat for doing like, I got it for like Kinect games or VR stuff or, you know what I mean? Just to have, I do put it under me for yoga.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I just noticed that. I wanted to ask about it.
It's weird though with a yoga mat on top of it because otherwise it's like carpet, rug, yoga mat. So there's no version of it where I'm like on a yoga mat on a hard floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there's just no hard floor in here. But yeah, you never notice. You know what it is? I grew up in theater school just on a mat. You know what I mean? Sure. Every class had a stack of mats in the corner and you'd come into class and it's like, okay, everybody grab a mat. That was just how you did class was you had a mat and you did class on it.
It reminds me of elementary school gym class because we would go, you get the mats, you put them out and then you could do tumbling or do whatever you're going to do on the mats. So just seeing them brought back memories. So thank you.
Well, if you need them, they have them at the boxing store on Laurel Canyon Boulevard.
That, you know, the first store I'm going to go into since April will definitely be the boxing store on Laurel Canyon Boulevard. Thank you for that tip.
Oh my God. You haven't been to a store? You haven't been inside a store in a year?
Inside a grocery, general, no. I went inside a Kohl's to return something, but no, I avoided at all costs. I can do curbside pickup and
I like that in a whole year of this, that what we have all been collectively living through. Mm-hmm. Like if this were the zombie apocalypse and they're like, look, man, if you leave this van that we have armored and provisioned with food, you will be killed by zombies.
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, I know that, but I have to make this return to Kohl's within 45 days or I'm not going to get the $11.95 back that I spent on this defective carafe.
You get it. You get it.
I get you. All right. So it's Mushu. Is he beating Figment?
He's beating Figment.
And you know what? And he's going up against Rex in the final battle.
Yeah. I knew going into this
that this was the battle.
This felt like what the finals would be.
Mm-hmm.
I was right.
Well, then who wins? That's the big question.
You want to 1, 2, 3 this? Or do you want to have a debate? I feel like we've talked about how great each of them are.
Yeah, I think we can 1, 2, 3 this.
All right, ready?
Mm-hmm.
1, 2, 3.
Rex.
People of the world, you put Wallace Shawn in an animated T-Rex toy and tell me it's not the greatest thing since sliced bread. He's like secretly the best part of the original Toy Story. He works for kids and works at a great level for adults who have had time to develop a number of neuroses, which are apparent in him. I mean, who knows what latent problems are undiagnosed inside that little T-Rex who is not good at roaring and just wants to be included and loved. And of who among us doesn't? So not only have dinosaurs defeated dragons because they're real and they walk the earth, I guess, but the greatest dinosaur of them all, what?
So are dragons.
No, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. 300 years ago when dinosaurs walked the earth, they were walking around this flat disc that we're all spinning on.
Yeah. And we were riding on their backs until someone pulled the whistle that it was break time. And then we slid down their backs with our lunch pail.
And then ate their ribs at the drive-in.
Yeah. It's a living.
It's a living. The greatest winner of this bracket. There's almost no need to vote, but go do it so D23 feels loved. The winner of this bracket is Rex. Asked and answered. You're welcome, Disney.
Yeah. This topic was asked by, let's see, let me look at my notes. Disney.
Okay.
So thank you for listening and thank you for the topic. This topic is closed, but there are many more to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets, or
you can email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com, or why not go to our Facebook group and talk about your favorite dinosaurs and dragons and other creatures. Facebook.com/groups/We Got This Podcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thanks, of course, to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song, respectively. And thanks to you, the people of the world, for giving us a chance to sit down and talk about dinosaurs and dragons and go deep on one of the things that both of us love a lot, which is all of the fun things that Disney has brought into our lives. Yeah, thank you for Hal Lublin. I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Lublin. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Audience supported.